Welcome into another edition of SE Checks In, presented by First Texoma National Bank. We've got the head football coach, Tyler Fenwick, with us, going to give us a spring football update. Coach Fenwick, how are you doing?
Yeah, doing good. It's been fun to have a couple scrimmages and see some other faces, and it's almost a relief. You know what I mean? Just because it's been so long, and you've been practicing for so long that it's been nice to just get out there with the kids and kind of see their excitement and all that stuff. And obviously right now we're in spring break, and it's kind of nice to just kind of sit back and take a breath and reevaluate and all that stuff. So things are good.
Well, we'll kind of just jump right in right there. We've had a unique opportunity this year with the way everything has gone, us not having a fall season, having extra practice time in the fall, and really now during spring ball. We're getting a lot of reps, and we'll just kind of jump right in. This spring football is a little bit different than a normal year. As you kind of already mentioned, we've been able to go up against some other people. What's the format like right now, and how it is different than it is, in a normal spring football season?
Well, it's longer. I mean, the period that we're able to practice is longer. I mean, normally in a spring practice, you get 36 days to get your 15 practices, and you got to work that around your strength and conditioning development phase, and then take a break and get those 15 practices in, and spread them out so that you're not wearing your kids out, but at the same time able to get a lot of reps and get a look at different guys. And so this year it's really been more we've been able to stretch that out and marry it up with some of the scrimmages that we've been able to do. And again, we still are trying to develop. We want to get healthy, and make sure that we're, still not, that we're ready for a scrimmage. I mean, I think that was one of the biggest concerns that I had when we left after the first semester. We left campus right before Thanksgiving, and then we didn't see them again for about 8 weeks until the second semester started. And so, you'd like to think that your guys are working out and staying in shape and all that stuff, but are they really getting what they need to be getting to be a football player when we're going to line up against Midwestern State just a few weeks after the semester starts. So we took that first couple weeks to get them back in with Coach Fears and just strengthen and make sure that we're preparing ourselves for to be as much game ready as we could to go against another opponent. And so we, just strategically, we were able to, take, I think, 3 weeks and get them back in the weight room and get them running and try to get them in somewhat kind of shape. And then we broke it down. We started practicing a little bit and then kind of get into, more of like a game mode or kind of a mini fall camp, I guess, in a sense, where it was, pretty much every day, getting them back on the field and getting reps and installs and then getting into an actual, game plan mode where we're actually watching film and, here's what we're going to be running against this defense, against this offense, and that sort of thing. So it was good. It was good for the coaches, honestly.
Yeah.
To be able to break down film and actually put together a game plan and because we haven't done that. I mean, we haven't, truly called a game. And then we had a little bit of a hiccup with the weather. We had, some pretty nasty weather that came through here.
Yeah.
And so we actually, we missed a few practices because of the weather and school shutting down and the roads being icy and, pipes freezing and all that stuff that was going on. I mean, it seemed like it's one thing after another. You're battling COVID and, trying to make sure that your testing is going well. And then all of a sudden you got the freezing pipes and you're just trying to, maneuver around all this stuff and get ready for Midwestern. But, they were going through the same issues and I had some conversations with their coach, Coach Maskell over there. And we were on the same page as far as what we wanted to get accomplished in the scrimmage. And, so yeah, completely different, and it's just, it's kind of been whatever is thrown at you, you take a swing at it, and you never know what the next day is going to bring. And but our kids are resilient. Our kids just, whatever we whatever we have to maneuver around or whatever we have to adjust, our guys are awesome. And, they just want to get out and play football, and they love to practice. It's one of the things that, I think that I've said and that I've seen since I've been here is, man, our kids love to be on the practice field and they love competing. They really enjoy the mental part of it and learning. And I just, it's really just a good feeling when we leave the practice field that, man, every day seems like we had a good practice. Every day seems like they're really tuned in and, and want to get better every day. So, yeah, it's been unique. But that's where we're at. And we don't really sit there and, we don't really golf at it. We just kind of say, okay, this is where we're at. This is what's happening. This is what we got to get ready for. And here's the next thing. And here's the next move. And like I said, our guys they work hard. They do what we ask them to do, and they do it at a high level.
With everything going on with the extended season or extended spring ball, and then obviously with the weather that came through and kind of put us back, where are we in spring ball? We halfway? I mean, what point are we at? I know we're on spring break, but where are we right now in spring football at Southeastern?
That's a good question. Like I said, I just kind of go day to day, and I just really, I wake up and I say, yeah, we got practice today.
Yeah.
So no, it's, I would say in the grand scheme of things, I mean, I'd say we're probably halfway. Would probably be about, if you were to put it on a calendar, it kind of starts and stops. And actually, I was talking to our strength coach, Coach Fears, the other day or yesterday, and we were talking about how it's very difficult to put together a development plan when you're starting and stopping. It's like, right. Okay, we got these 3 weeks and we're going to develop as much as we can, but then we're going to take back off the weight room and make sure that we get ready for a scrimmage. And we had back-to-back scrimmages. So, and now we'll get back from spring break. We'll get them back in the weight room for a couple of weeks, and then, back into getting ready for Emporia. And so I think, as we kind of go through this, when we get back next week, we'll ease them back, we'll get them back in the weight room and kind of get the spring break cobwebs out and, kind of get them back into the, just working and weight room and pushing weight and running and, those sorts of things for about a week. And then we'll have 2 weeks to get, kind of get ready and ramp back up for a scrimmage. And then after that, we're going to back off and we'll still practice a little bit. I think we feel like there's some things that we need to kind of get us ready for the fall. But it'll be really more back into that development phase and after the Emporia State scrimmage. So, and then hopefully we can, just kind of ride it, into the summer and have a kind of catapult us into into an off-season summer program. Whether, for the, guys are being here or being away or whatever it is, and just, feeling good and getting them ready for, hopefully what, for fall camp, a true fall camp in August. So, it's a long process. It's been a long process, but, we just keep moving forward.
Yeah. So, we kind of did a fall ball, which is spring ball in the fall, essentially.
Yeah.
A lot of reps, a lot of young guys got a lot of reps. I think that was very beneficial for us in our program and our team. How well has that transition been from the fall to the spring, kind of getting that double dip of install and things like that, and really our young guys grasping on to how we do things, kids on how we do things. What has that been like? Have you seen some guys starting to get lined up the way they should? The speed of the game is coming more natural to them.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, that's, that when we got word that we weren't going to have a season and there weren't going to be any championships and there wasn't going to be a spring season and all that stuff. And, all the different possibilities that were getting thrown up into the air and all that stuff. And so once we kind of got, our plan was that we were going to get ready for fall of 21, when championships start happening again. And so we're basically going to take this year and develop our program, and that's really what we're all about. But as we were going to go in, obviously in the fall, was all about trying to find out, who we've got, or these freshmen that are here, the transfers that we brought in, and just really develop them and really get them to understand the speed of the game, the terminology on schematically, and just, those sorts of things to try to get them ready for the spring and, getting into these scrimmages. And when we went against Midwestern State, we had pretty much scripted it where our starters were going to play the first and the third quarter. And then our backups were going to play the second and the fourth quarter, and we were going to get everybody reps and be able to really evaluate. And it wasn't about, to me, it wasn't about winning or losing this stuff. It was about going out and executing and being able to evaluate individually, how close is Ty Williams, freshman corner, and Jay Shaw and Caleb Tobias, how close are those guys, to being able to be contributors in the fall, and
right.
And just get them against competition that they don't see every day. A new scheme, the lights are on, the officials are out, there's a play clock, those sorts of things that they're just getting used to. And that was really the goal of this whole off season for us. And, it didn't make sense for us to, play Dalton Hatley for an entire game and not give reps to, the other quarterbacks. That didn't, to me, that would be counterproductive to what we're trying to do, and get ready for the fall of 21 season. So I think so far, we've done a really good job of that. The Midwestern game, or a scrimmage, we really were able to find out a lot of things. Our offensive line against Midwestern State, for all those guys that played, it was really the first time that they lined up against another Division II opponent. Now we had a couple guys that had played some college ball, junior college or Division III or whatever, but it was the first time they lined up against a Division II opponent, and really seeing the speed of the game and the strength and all that stuff. And when you look at the evaluation between that game and then the evaluation after the Northeastern State game, scrimmage, just the leaps and bounds strides that they made between 1 week to the next week was just invaluable. You couldn't get that. You couldn't get that in a regular season where, you can actually get them ready for something like that. So I thought it was really good. And that, like I said, that was kind of the whole goal. That's the whole plan going forward. That'll be the plan going into Emporia State. I think against Northeastern State, I think Dalton Hatley only played a quarter, and then Riley Russell and Ty Egan played a bunch of snaps and got them just more experience. I think it's been advantageous for us.
That's a unique thing that we've had, been able to go out and go against outside competition and scrimmages, crossover practices. Kind of like you said, we hosted an old friend on campus a couple weeks ago at NSU. And, I talked to a couple people that were there, and they said it was a lot of reps.
Yeah.
A lot of practice, which is good, which is what, the competitive drive in you is you want to go out and dominate, but,
yeah,
it's March, it's March, what are we trying to win a game in March? Or are we trying to get better for the fall? And so, that's what I tell people all the time is, we're doing this to break up the monotony of going up against each other. But also being able to get those quality reps for somebody you have no really idea about that has a different skill set than what you see every day. And so I think that's something that I've really liked about this is the uniqueness of this spring, being able to have those crossover practices, less game like. There are some teams that are playing games in the spring. I'm ready for the fall, just like you said, let's get ready for fall 21. And so we've got one coming up against Emporia State at Emporia. Looking forward to that one. Same concept, same crossover style. What are you looking for as a team in that one?
Yeah. So we've kind of done some like Midwestern State, that was a scrimmage, but it was game-like, but it was scripted, as far as, the one, who's playing at what quarter and all that other stuff. And that was really more of a game feel to it. The Northeastern State scrimmage was, it was really a joint practice. I mean, we did inside run, we did, offensive line, defensive line, one-on-ones. We did 7-on-7, we did receiver DB one-on-ones. I mean, it was, and like you said, I mean, there was a ton of reps going all over the place. I mean, it felt like we were at a team camp. I mean, that's kind of what it felt like. And so probably the first hour, hour and 20 minutes or something like that was that kind of a structure. And then we basically played a half of football, kind of a third and fourth quarter, I guess, where it was live, other than the quarterbacks. The quarterbacks weren't live. They weren't live for the Midwestern either. But we're able to, just put the ball on the 30-yard line and move the ball and see what you did. And I thought, like I said before, I mean, just the improvements that we made, just individually, of just fundamentally and technique wise, that guys were taking from the first week to the next week were just astronomical. I mean, it was really, really good stuff. So, and then we played a couple 2-minute situations at the end of that Northeastern State scrimmage. So I think we had our first group, we had 4 situations. So offensively, we had our first group and our second group both got a situation, a 2-minute situation, minute 45 on the clock, down by 2, balls on the, whatever, minus 45-yard line with a timeout or something, I think, and so there was 4 different scenarios that we played. And really that was good obviously for our players, just to kind of get in that situation and understand, getting out of bounds and understanding, just the clock's running, when it's not running, how to stop the clock, things like that. But I think it was also really good from a coaching standpoint of just communicating of when to use the timeout and, when we needed to, with the time on the clock, and when can we run the ball and, not run the ball, and just, stuff like that. I mean, all that stuff that, you try to get at practice, and you don't have the officials out there spotting the ball for you and all that other stuff. I mean, it was really good experience for everybody to kind of get back into the swing of things. So the Emporia scrimmage, that will be more of a game-like scrimmage. But again, we'll be playing our starters, the first and the third, I think, and play the backups, second and fourth. And I think we'll probably do another 2-minute situation there at the end. So, so it'll look a little bit more like the Midwestern scrimmage. And that's just, based on whatever, us as coaches agree on and what we want to do and things like that. So, yeah, but that's April 10th. It'll be at Emporia. We're looking forward to it. It'll be, I think it's 3, when it's all said and done, it'll be, 3 really good opponents that, that are different, stages in their program. I mean, I think, when you look at Midwestern, they're every year they're, knocking on the door to get in the playoffs, and Coach Maskell's been there for 20 years, and, he's got a pretty good, culture going, and he's got, they kind of keep it rolling every year. So Northeastern State, I think, is, similar to us in the sense that their coach, Coach Eckert, has been at Northeastern the same time I've been here. So we're, trying to do our thing and build our program and keep making strides, about the same time, we both got in here together. So I think that was good for us, as far as just where we're at as a program and trying to get better. And then Emporia being in the MIAA, I think, they're a team that, their coach has been there for a long time. Coach Higgins, he's been there a while, and he's had some good programs, and I think they're a program that, is always scratching and clawing. They're very competitive. They find ways to win. Obviously it's an established program, had a couple of really, really good years getting to the playoffs. So I think it's going to be a good test for us to really kind of compare and see where we're at with a team like that, as well. So I think, when we looking back at it from the Midwestern scrimmage, there were things that, mental things, assignment bust. I think the big thing was, penalties. We had a ton of penalties in the first half. And you look at, you use those as, it's a scrimmage, and you can kind of, those things can happen, and because we haven't played in a long time, and so you can take those experiences and say, okay, here's what happened. We had them, could have had them at third and 12, third and extra long, and all of a sudden we get an unsportsmanlike penalty, which is, gives them a first down and keeps the drive moving, or could have had them in a 4th and 23 or whatever, and
right.
punting, things like that. And so, those are all just experiences that we encountered, and we're able to educate and use those experiences for our own knowledge and getting better. And you look at the week after, we didn't have those same mistakes, and hopefully that continues, and we can continue to do that going into another scrimmage with Emporia, and just keep on becoming a smarter football team. So
yeah. That's what I was going to say, is it's all about growth,
Yeah.
growth. And let's get to fall 21. And
right.
Big deal, because you're starting quarterback and you're starting offensive line are thrown in these 2-minute situations, or, in these situations where, when you have these penalties, it affects not just that play, but it could affect the outcome of the game, because a 6 or 7 yard difference on a play could be the difference in the game.
Yeah.
And I know this, and I'd rather that happen during a scrimmage in March and then adjust it, and it will be less of an issue, moving forward. Because, when you report for fall camp, there's a lot of things happening. You're trying to get people to get enrolled, IDs, figure out what their classes are, and then teaching them and installing, and then, going over situations. You only have so much time.
Right.
And so, that's the biggest thing, is growth. And that's what, I think that was the basis when we talked prior, is I just want to see our team grow and become better and more well-rounded, So when we talk about growth, you talk about, I talked about the young players and all that. We had a couple of transfers come in. What's their mentality? They're starting to figure it out and all that. Where have you seen the most growth from the fall?
I would say offensive line, I think, is probably the most growth, and our secondary, with our young secondary. I think those are the two that we've probably seen the most growth. And obviously, offensive line, that we had, I think we've only got 2, maybe 3 offensive linemen that are still here, that were here before we got here. So,
right.
It's been, it's kind of a complete overhaul of new faces, and not only that, but they're also, learning a new scheme and learning Coach Throck's terminology and, all that stuff. So, throwing those guys in the mix in the fall, and then we added a couple mid-semester, mid-year. And then, so throwing those guys in the mix, and just seeing those guys develop. And there's, we started going against Midwestern. We started Trent Jones, who's a true freshman. We started him at left guard.
Yeah.
And he looks the part. He's strong, he's flexible, but he just hadn't seen, a 3 technique that looked like that, from another team. So, so in that regard, that was that was huge. And then just trying to get those guys to play together and get on the same page, and all of a sudden you got to play clock, and you got to make a call, and the quarterback's, getting, trying to get things going and get the playoff. And, so, and then, so seeing, that, install back in the fall, and then actually coming back and reinstalling it, and then actually getting to, see it live action against Midwestern, and then, come back again the week after and perfect those things that they were coached up on. That was really good. I think, a lot of those guys, James Walker, Caleb Weatherford, Dylan Yandel, those guys are transfers from, that had played some college football. But on the flip side of it, on the defensive side, when I talk about the secondary, we've got a phenomenal secondary coming back with Jay Free and Josh Malumba and Ball Trip, KB, all those guys that are coming back. And then, but, we didn't have a whole lot of depth underneath that. And so, you sit there and you look at Caleb Tobias and Jalen Shaw and those guys, Ty Williams, and throwing them out there at corner and putting them on an island and see if they can cover somebody. And I thought those guys held up really well. I mean, I thought those guys competed. I think they, they're understanding more and more of the defense and the schematics and all that stuff. And, and I think, the fact that we've got, like I said, Jay Free and Malumba, I mean, those guys are great leaders, and KB and some of those other guys are great leaders, that, kind of taking those guys under their wing and help, teach them and show them the ropes and show them what's going on. And along with obviously our coaching staff, but we've really focused a lot this off season, on defensively with coverage.
Right.
And, we've kind of, I don't want to say take a backseat to trying to stop the run. We're always going to stop the run. That's what our defense is all about. But we really need to make sure that our secondary guys, and our cover, even our linebackers in coverage and understanding, coverage rules and all that stuff. We've really focused a lot on, on making sure guys are in the right place and guys are, understanding, what's happening from the offensive side and what the route combinations are going to look like and what they're trying to do and all that stuff. And I think that you're starting to see that stuff really, really come along, and you're not seeing a lot of wide open guys. You're not seeing a lot of busted assignments in our two scrimmages. So, and going back to, like I said, I mean, we're going to stop the run. I mean, we had a 3rd and 1 against Midwestern, we got to stop and force them to punt. And we had a goal line stand where, they had 3 shots at getting in the end zone from inside the 5-yard line, and we stuffed it and held them to a field goal, so that part of it, we feel really good about. We feel, good about our D line, our linebackers, but we really need to make sure, just based on, the previous years, just making sure that everybody's, we're not giving away any easy, wide open points. So that was a big emphasis for us.
Yeah. So we'll kind of transition, like you said, we're about halfway done with spring football. Summer fall outlook. What are you kind of looking forward as we kind of wind down? What is next for Southeastern football in the summer, and as we go into the fall 21 with the schedule?
Yeah, I mean, it's, we'll, once we kind of get done with this Emporia scrimmage, like I said, we'll kind of taper it off, and we'll kind of knock out some things that we need to make sure that we take care of to get us ready for certain games, certain opponents and things like that. And then, and we'll only practice twice a week, but it's really about developing these kids in the weight room and trying to get them off on a high note, in the weight room and feeling good. And, and then obviously you got the off season, summer program, and hopefully guys are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and then we'll kind of find out where we're at with camps and golf tournaments and all that fun stuff that goes on in the month of June. And and then really it's going to be and Seth, I mean, it's when we get going in August, I mean, it's one, August 4th is when we report, and hopefully we're back to a normal fall camp where we're able to kind of do some things that we haven't been able to do, more of the team building stuff, and more of the, just us here, and really not everybody else on campus yet. And, just all the, just getting to know each other, and bringing in that freshman class and integrating them into the program, and, all that fun stuff. But, August 4th starts, and I mean, it's physicals, and it's, checking out equipment, and starting to, practice, and one day after another, and install after install. So we'll spend the month of July getting ready for, our first opponents. I think we got Arkansas Tech, first game, which, they're a good program. I mean, they got a, new coaching staff too, from same time I came in, and, they're kind of in the same boat we are, where, they're trying to, improve it every day. And so, we'll have a big task. I mean, we got to go there again. So it's but what I think we're all looking forward to it, though. I mean, I think, we're all looking forward to that grind that we haven't had that week to week.
Yeah.
Okay, game's over, let's get on to the next one. Let's, prepare. And, teach the kids, what's next and teach them a new scheme and, what we're going to see and all that stuff. And I think we're all anxious for that kind of that football coach schedule that we're all so used to being on.
I'm anxious to feel that buzz again. You talked about late July, early August, more and more new faces, more and more people showing up. I'm anxious for that because that tells me we're about to kick off and get ready to roll. I always look forward to that that time of year, just the new faces, not just football, but volleyball, cross country, all those sports that come early. It's nice. And then obviously when we have that first team meeting, I like to be there just because it's a new team, new opportunity. And I think with what we've gone through over the last 365 days, I think everybody's just going to be chomping at the bit, motivated just to get back to that daily grind and really appreciating it because of what had been taken away. So,
yeah, well, there's nothing better. I mean, there's just nothing better than a home game. I mean, there's just, just that atmosphere where you've got, the tailgaters out and you got the band out there and you got, the flags flying and all that stuff. And, just the excitement and all that stuff. I think everybody's ready for that. And, it's, you sit there and you kind of look at, okay, we got, I mean, honestly, I remember, thinking when we started back, over the break, you're sitting there going, okay, yeah, we're going to, you schedule this Midwestern and Northeastern and you're like, okay, that's way down the road and we're going to get ready for this and that. And all of a sudden we're sitting here and it's like, those two are already gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we got one more coming up. And by that time it's like, okay, hopefully, we're kind of back on that schedule of what it's supposed to be like and in that time of year. So it's been a long road and hopefully that's hopefully there's some sunshine that's peeking through the clouds that are going to get us back to some kind of normalcy.
Well, I'm very hopeful of that too. Like I said, I'm ready. Like you said, home games in Durant are special. They're fun. They're great. Biggest show in town. Whether it's a Thursday night or Saturday afternoon, those are special to me and especially for this community. And I can't wait for us to get back there. So what else, as we kind of wind down, what else did I miss you want to bring up? Is there anything else? I mean, we've kind of covered just an update and we'll do one again as we finish and head into the summer, just to talk about the team and what we're going to look like moving forward into the fall. But right now, just wanted to kind of focus on what we've been going through since we reported back in January.
Yeah. No, this is it's good. It's good to update, just kind of what's been going on in the program and give the alumni and the boosters and all that stuff, just kind of an update of what's happening. And it was good. I mean, the Northeastern, it was good to see some people in the seats, at Northeastern, at that scrimmage. And you could tell that there were some people that are chomping at the bit, around the community just to get out and see some football. And I'm really proud of our guys. I'm really proud of the way they've handled things and just keep coming out every day to improve. And I thought, again, I thought that, we've got some pretty special talent that's out there right now. And I think we've shored up and I think we've improved a lot of positions. I think our quarterback is playing at an extremely high level. Dalton Hatley, I mean, he completely owns the offense right now. He understands the X's and O's and where the ball's supposed to go. I mean, like I said, he played one quarter of the Northeastern, I think 2 series. And I mean, he was 10 for 10, and a touchdown. And he just, he played lights out against Midwestern State, had a high completion percentage. And then a lot of that has to do with, obviously he knows where to go with the ball. His leadership ability is next level right now. And I think he's got some really good talent around him. I think receiver wise, we're loaded. We got guys that can catch the ball and run routes, and we got length. And I think our offensive line is still a work in progress, but it's day by day. It's really coming along, and we've really had a chance to build that depth because we've been playing a lot of these young guys in these scrimmages that they just need reps, and that's a lot of times that's what it comes down to. The more reps and the more they see, I think, we're definitely headed in the right direction. Defensively, I think we're playing fast and physical. And, we've added Keyshawn Somerville at corner. There's a transfer from TCU that's plays with a lot of confidence. He's fast, plays the ball well. So really excited about what he's brought to our defense. And, we got all these little DBs that are flying around and running around and all that stuff. And sometimes it looks like we got 12 guys on the field, because they're all moving around and showing stuff and bailing out. And so it's fun to see that kind of the next step that we're taking in our defense. Last year in, 2019, it was kind of, we're installing as we go, and, you're trying to get stuff in, but it's all very basic and all that stuff. And now we're actually starting to, our defensive personnel is starting to own the defense. They're starting to, make it theirs. And that's fun to see them make the checks and talk it out and figure things out, and where's, what this is supposed to look like and all that stuff. And I think our coaching staff has done a phenomenal job going through this, and just kind of keep pressing and keep motivating and teaching and giving them something more to learn, and so it's not monotonous. And that's a credit to just a good coaching staff that we got.
We do, and that's the thing that I've kind of noticed is it's transition to from, hey, this is what we do, to now you've got kids saying, no, this is what we do. This is how we do it. There's a level with Jay Free and all those guys, you can tell just by the way they walk down the hall and when they talk football with me, it's like, no, this is our defense. This is what we do. And this is how we're going to be. And it's awesome to see that. So,
Keelan Chilton, we've kind of moved him around, and he's, he can play corner, and he played corner in 19, but we've kind of moved him to safety. And he flies around, and it's like, he's fast, and he understands the game. And so, those guys are really working, really well together. And that's what it's all about. When you have 11 guys that are working together, either side of the ball, but they're, they are, they're on the same page, and being able to communicate to the coaching staff, here's what I see, this is what's going on. And that helps us make adjustments. I think in 2019, it was like, Coach Johnson, he knew what was going on, and he knows the adjustments, but we're getting different things from, now it's all of a sudden everybody's speaking the same language that, and it just takes time. That's just kind of the way it is.
Well, we've always said we've had good football players. They're good at playing football. We've got, you said Chill, Jay Free, a couple other guys, Malik, guys that you can plug and play anywhere you want. And so that's also nice to be able to have guys that understand it, and now that are learning our system and that are going to hopefully have a springboard in 2021. So, well, I appreciate you sitting down, taking time, talking about Southeastern football again. Like I said, Storm fans, we'll do another one of these as we kind of move closer to the summer, and hopefully have some other big announcements about some events that we want to do over the summer and then into the fall. And so hopefully get back to some sense of how things used to be, with a little bit of a twist with a new staff. So, Coach, I appreciate you taking time with me today. Anything else?
No, I appreciate it. This is good. It's always fun to talk about Savage Storm football and Southeastern football, and we're just one day at a time, and our guys are getting a little bit of a break right now, and I'm sure they're ready to get going when we get back next week and get after it again.
As am I. So, well, there it is. Appreciate it. Take care. Go Storm.
All right, we'll see you. Thanks.